Well, you won't get a lemon from Toyota of Orange.
Wrestling buddies want to be your buddy.
Drug-free's the way to be.
What do you think you're doing?
Well, Miss Musso, we were just doing a promo.
Welcome to Home Wrestling League.
I am Penny Dreadful, joined by Drew, no gimmicks needed Bradley, and Crystal the Casual at the Unicorn Soundboard, and this is Home Wrestling League, where featuring marginalized voices is a requirement. Every time they ask Bianca or Jade or any black woman or any person of color at a scrum, they're like, how do you feel? What is it like being here? And she has to say every time, it's a requirement. For us to be here and to be featured as we are is not a request, it's the way it has to be. Gable Steveson was released, and I forgot he was even there. And it makes me laugh how much they talked him up. I feel like it was at a WrestleMania maybe 2 years ago.
It was WrestleMania in Dallas where he came out.
Mm-hmm. And they were like, Gable Steveson. Like, you know, Natalie Portman made a big old deal about him.
He was Olympic gold medalist, but the whole sexual assault thing came out.
Okay, I don't know anything about that. What the hell happened? Tell me the tea.
So
I just remember them talking him up as if he was going to be the next big thing.
They want another Kurt Angle.
They got Chad Gable right there.
But Chad Gable don't have a
he doesn't have one, but you know, do you have to have one to be in that gimmick? I don't know about that. And he's 23. He's a baby. Goodness.
Yeah. So he had a sexual assault case where, because of lack of evidence, he got it out of the charge.
Ooh. Yikes.
So it just never really materialized for him. And I think that and with the bad press of that and the fact that he just wasn't, I don't think he was growing. Like Kurt Angle was a machine. Like the fact like he wrestled with a broken freaking neck. That was his whole gimmick. He was a machine, so he got it. But it's just hard to get it sometimes. It's just for whatever reason, like professional wrestling is extremely difficult. Yeah. So I know a lot of people were happy to see his downfall, but you know, he's not on the roster anymore. And one of the weird things was, had they released him earlier, he would have been able to go to the Olympics to defend his crown, but they waited until just now. And it's kind of shitty because the Olympics is in like 4 or 5 months. So it's kind of shitty. But like, I personally don't really know what happened with the sexual assault charges. Like I told you what it was, but I'm not. He had the one match.
Were arrested on suspicion of criminal sexual misconduct and were subsequently suspended. And then in December of 2019, or maybe it didn't say, it's not clear about when it was, but it was determined that they would not face criminal charges due to a lack of adequate evidence. Hard to get evidence for criminal sexual misconduct, especially, you know, several years after the fact. Well,
yeah, and I mean, I'd be remiss because I'm a huge crime and sport fan to not think that people along the way saw how talented that guy was, and they were just like, "How can we bury this?"
Was he really very talented? I also heard he was kind of an asshole. That's something else that I heard.
Yeah, I mean, I suspect that because the guy. I mean, like we've been around high school wrestlers. They're not great people. Very seldom are you going to meet a amateur wrestler that's you know
stand-up guy.
Stand up, like they literally wrestled people into submission. Like every high school I went to, the wrestlers were the worst.
Worst people in the history of people.
Like college football players are awful, or high school football players are awful, even especially if their teams are bad. But like high school wrestlers are just the abhorrent people. Like they are just the most horrendous humans ever.
The world
the injury roster or the injured reserve is growing, I guess we got to add Bobby Lashley and Zelina Vega to that list because both of them are out of their King and Queen of the Ring qualifying.
Mhm.
And every time I turn around, Adam Pearce or the other one on SmackDown got to announce that someone is out of it.
Nick Aldis.
Think Aldis, thank you. Are you at all suspicious of people being replaced in these matches?
Mhm. No, I mean, I think now that it's just we're doing their best to get to WrestleMania because that's the biggest payday.
Yeah.
And once they got to WrestleMania, then their bodies were just like, all right, it's okay to break down. It's the equivalent of working a job and then flying on a plane and then not getting sick and then flying back and then 3 days later you got the flu. It's like shit like that.
Yeah. Because back in the day, we would have just seen them work. And they have a larger roster to work with. So they can, put people in and out. I wonder, I don't know what happened with Shayna and Maxine because Maxine is the one who filled in for Zelina. I hope she didn't kill her.
She fucking killed her.
She fucking killed her. Do you know if Super Show is airing anywhere? Because I didn't know that they were going to be having qualifying matches at the house shows.
Yeah, no, those house shows aren't. You're just gonna find out tomorrow and Friday.
Okay, all right.
The results, that's it.
Whether or not Shayna knocked the whole block off.
Right, because I think what was initially supposed to happen was they were supposed to get all those matches on Monday.
Yes, right.
Yeah. On Monday, I think midway in, they're like, "Oh shit, we don't have enough time for."
Yeah, right.
The
They listed all of those matches. I was like,
because Zoe Stark's match was just quick in there. It was like they got entered. Well, Zoe didn't even get an entrance; she was already in the ring.
Right, exactly.
And then she just beat the shit out of Ivy Nile, and then it just goes on to the next thing.
Yeah,
and you're like, oh, I don't think they planned that.
Quick. Yeah.
Shout out to Zoe Stark for hating ass-based female attacks. That's one of the funniest things on Twitter as of late. It's like this woman's on a campaign against ass-based female attacks.
Honestly, I think the ass-based attacks are always the funniest ones to me. It's like, boom, ass in your face. Every single time.
Like, the match I'm interested in is Jay against Ilya Dragunov. Because Ilya Dragunov is going to murder him. Like, Jay can walk out winner, but, like, he's
gonna have to fight for it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like, I know professional, like, obviously we know professional wrestling is fake, but when I see Ilya Dragunov, I'm just like, oh, shit. Yeah. Like, I was watching his stuff with him and Eddie Kingston, and I'm like, this exists, and it is just as intense as you think it is. And you're like, God, I'm so glad none of these guys decided to, like, actually die for the gimmick.
Actually die.
So, well,
after I get kicked out, and apparently you just wait until the very end of it to get kicked out. Why didn't the guy get kicked out sooner?
All the articles I've seen, basically, they don't say what he said, but it was enough to make her, Sky Blue, visibly upset. That's what all the articles are saying.
Yeah.
And all of them are also making sure we know that this person had a child with him.
Yes.
I was like, what? Ew, way to, show your kid how not to act, I guess. I don't know.
Or how to act if that's what you want him to
do.
Do.
Oh, disgusting. I was like, with a kid with you, that's even worse. But apparently, like, so, that happened. I've not seen any video of that, but I saw there's another video of who is it? I get according to a tweet by someone named Air Gold _. I don't know who they are, but they are on Twitter. It says during Mariah's match with Harley, Saraya also pointed out some fans in the front row who were harassing the wrestlers. It's 2024, but women in wrestling still have so many barriers to overcome because men still don't know how to behave in public. And basically,
it was
she walked.
Fucking fantastic match, by the way. That was good stuff.
She was
more Harley Cameron
them.
on TV.
I was
surprised.
Mariah. I'm not sure if that's her, but I'll show you. Let me show you that. She literally walks over to them and she's like telling the camera, she's like, film them. Look at these creeps. Look at these perverts. She's like, women, stay away from these guys right here. I was like, whoa.
Uh-uh.
But I mean, that's what they need to be doing. They need to be named,
Yeah.
shamed, and shown in public for what they are. Because apparently, you know how Sky Blue already faced that harassment, and then online was most, I would say, if not almost all people are supporting her.
Yeah.
But there was one guy that basically was like, "You asked for it because you're dressed that way." I can find
It doesn't
the
even need to be the one because there are plenty of them saying the exact same thing.
right.
And like,
So
would you respect them if they, wrestled in potato sacks like in
Right.
Saudi?
right, it's yeah.
It
I
doesn't
mean-
matter what you wear. They will disrespect
Right.
women's wrestling time.
So yeah,
Right.
so apparently on Twitter, this is a Ringside News article. It says another hater took to Twitter and pinned the blame on Sky Blue for the incident by claiming it all happened because of the gear that Sky Blue wore, which showed off her backside more. I'm not gonna read the
She
whole
always
thing.
does. Like,
I know.
Yeah.
I mean, I could read the whole thing. I'll show you. I'll give you guys that one too, because this person just went on a fucking rant, basically saying, "I have some fatherly advice." Ew.
oh, I saw that one.
Ew.
Come on.
Oh, stop
Ugh.
showing so much ass. Try to look more like a fighter than a stripper. The fishnets are fucking corny. You're making these nerds feel comfortable. The IG thirst traps, the OF, and anything like that. And I'm like,
Yeah.
and then he called them snowflakes, so we exactly know what this
Mhm.
person's like.
Yeah.
like,
Yep.
it's so dumb. And I guess Chelsea Green was like, "You can fuck off." I'm
Yeah,
paraphrasing. She
yeah.
didn't say that, but
Yes. Yeah.
you know, she kind of said what you're saying, that you were saying it's like the guys are also they are just as scantily clad as the women.
Yeah.
And they
They're
all
more
deserve
scantily
respect.
clad.
They
More
all deserve respect.
so. Like, they also
You
wear the
know?
trunks. And they
Yeah,
also
exactly.
don't deserve to be, they deserve respect too. Like, I
Yes.
remember a video I saw recently of Roman talking about, and this is like several years ago, this video was. It was like pre-veneers Roman talking about this. And he was talking about how, some women whip for it and like grabbed his ass. And I was like, oh my God, no.
Ooh,
Like, that's
no,
inappropriate from no matter who it's coming from.
no, it is.
And
It's
like,
like,
and there's something that kind of like bothers me, and something that I think helps more, the more of the backstage footage we've been seeing, more that leads more into the stadium at large. I think it helps us in general because it kind of brings back the curtain a little bit. I think having that super hard division between the front and the back of what's going on is kind of hurt wrestling in general, because it means that you get to do and behave however you want backstage as long as it's not in front.
Mhm.
Which it doesn't help anyone, because it meant this man got to do whatever he wanted as long as we didn't know about it. And
Right.
it kind of assumes that we're all stupid, like we can't find the line of demarcation between the performance aspect and the not performance aspect of it. Sky Blue's wearing what she wants to because it's a performance aspect. It's very simple, and it's very easy to respect the performers and what they're doing and what they're wearing.
no, it's
And like,
it's
why can't you? Why is it that Crystal, you and me can't go to a show without Drew? Why can't we feel safe doing that?
right, exactly. And I mean,
What
to
can you
like,
carry with you? Because I would carry a
you
taser,
can't
but
even
they
take
would probably
Mason.
take
They
it
don't
away.
let you. Yeah, they don't let you. They don't let you
Exactly.
keep anything with you.
Well, if
You got to
you
rely on the old standard of having your keys on a lanyard that's long, so you can do one of
Mhm.
these, a fucking cowboy move, and fucking whack them
Have
in
them in your
Pe-
fingers.
Penny,
Yeah.
you know what you can do? You could just be like, man, my hip's been hurting me for the past couple of weeks. I really need this steel cane.
But I mean, it's one of those
And
things
carry
where
the steel cane, bring someone with it because they deserve it, and then
Your
you
hip
get
looks
kicked out.
great. What the hell is happening?
like it's always about what someone's wearing. When there was literally, I don't know if I do not remember anything. If someone knows, maybe let us know. There was either an art installation or something where people showed what they wore the time they were either raped or sexually assaulted. And it is everything you could think of. Every single item of clothing you could think a person could wear, it's there. It's my sweatpants and a hoodie. It's my jeans and my coat and my shoes and my purse. It's like, so what you're telling us is we can't wear anything or be out in public
Uh-huh.
without men thinking they have a right to either say stuff or do stuff.
Yeah.
That's what that tells me. So it's like everyone who's
Yeah.
like, well, you're dressing a certain way. It's like, no, if you don't do it, you'll get harassed.
Yeah,
If you
yeah.
do dress right, you know, whatever.
It means nothing. What a
It means-
person is wearing or not wearing means nothing, because at the
Right.
bottom of it, you just don't respect the people.
Yeah,
and what they're
exactly.
doing.
You know, like it
And
goes,
that's the thing. I think Sky Blue is adorable. She's
Mhm.
so cute and has come so far in her work, and they've been featuring her a lot. And
Mhm.
I'm actually really proud of what she's been doing the last couple of years. And to have this, it's just fucking lame as shit.
I could see why, you know, she literally like was kind of like visibly upset by
Sure,
the thing. And I'm
of
like, I get
course,
that because
yeah.
what I don't know what that guy was saying. I don't want to know really,
Yeah.
but it was
And
sustained and disgusting enough that like
Mhm.
people had to be like, what the
Yeah.
fuck? Like, get
And
him
why
out of
did it
here.
take until the end of that match for
Right.
Aubrey to have to be okay? Let's kick him out, because you
That's so
can't exactly.
crazy.
I guess you can stop, but you stop in the middle of what you're doing to get rid of them, and you have to wait until you're finished with what you're doing to get him kicked out.
Yeah, that was a little weird.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's
What are we doing, and why did it come down to Aubrey? Why does it always come down to the
The women.
ones who are the brunt of the harassment to do the fighting back?
Yep.
I don't know, man. I don't know. And yet it's not surprising at all.
No,
I expect
well, I mean,
it.
Drew has
Fucking
his story.
embarrassing.
I mean,
Remember?
Yes.
wrestling fans are just awful. Like
Mhm.
it. I mean,
Why is that? Is it
obviously,
because they're allowed to over and over? Like,
it's
why is
only
that
smarts.
exactly?
It's only smarky people. Like if people aren't
Mhm.
really into it and are
Mhm.
just there to have a good time,
Mhm.
then they're fine. We're not those people. Like a couple weeks back, somebody who I went to get chicken tenders with one time decided to go on a racist rant about a 19-year-old kid in NXT. Those are the wrestling fans that exist, but the ones that actually love the art of professional wrestling are the ones that people like the actual
Don't get as
wrestlers
much
respect.
play. Uh-huh.
I'm just
They're a
it's always
vocal
a
minority. That's why.
it's always a weird thing because you would never see this in Japan. And like if you're the one white dude in Japan and you were acting like that, they'd be like, the fuck is wrong?
Well,
Like, you would get
there's a really strong public politeness culture there.
That's
Yeah.
true.
Like you
Yeah.
don't act like an ass in public. I mean, if you
Yeah.
can, and people do,
Mhm.
but I think generally it seems that you're looked down upon way more intensely over there for that kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's funny because my friend of the show, Jaggers, he was just in Japan last week and he went to go to TJWP, Total Joshi, or Tokyo Joshi Pro Wrestling, and Maki Ito wrestles for him. And everybody in the audience was cheering for the other girl who's a 16-year-old. But when Maki, because it's like one of her first professional shows, so they were cheering for her.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
And she was going against Maki Ito, and Jaggers, because Jaggers is a fan, he was cheering Maki Ito, and everybody else is looking at Jaggers, and it's like, this guy's 6'6", so I don't know what you think you're gonna do to him if you give him death stares.
They just give him a hard time for not cheering the person they thought he would have cheered, and that's enough.
Yeah, and you can
Wow.
do that. Like,
Yeah.
cheer for who you want to, but
Yeah.
don't be an ass about it.
Yeah, yeah. Don't identify yourself as a dude who will get kicked out of the strip club. Why do you want people to know about you?
Yeah,
Why do you
exactly.
get kicked out?
Some people just
Unbelievable.
Eat your wings and enjoy the show.
What up, man? My name is Jeremy, light-skinned Dave Portnoy, and today I've seen him do videos called the One Bite Pizza Review, and with me being from Atlanta, growing up eating chicken wings my whole life, I'm doing the One Bite Wing Review. And to start off, we're at the legendary Magic City, and I got the famous Lou Will Lemon Pepper Barbecue Wings. So I'm gonna take a bite. That's a good wing. That's a good wing.
Regarding Drew and Jay, I did not see a program unfolding there because we've all been focusing so much on CM Punk. If you think about it, Jay took Drew's Backlash rematch. Jay took Drew's King of the Ring qualifying match and won in spite of him trying to interfere, and also, cost him that match at Clash at the Castle. So, wow,
Solo did.
Well, yeah, sure. But he was there also. He's part of it too. But it is a great way to fill that time while we wait for, Punk and McIntyre to kind of come into place. And yet, even while they haven't been face-to-face much, they've still been moving along with promos and with social media, which is fascinating. Have you ever seen social media been focused this much in programs before?
No.
Yeah, this is kind of new.
One of the funny things, like around the early 2010s in professional wrestling, was Vince McMahon trying to get into social media. It was pretty much Zack Ryder who was the guy who got WWE into some social media, because that's how he got over. He had the YouTube show, and then he had the Z True Hollywood, Z True Long Island Story. That's what got him over. And it was this gimmick. He was great. And the WWE pretty much put the kibosh on that. Vince McMahon the entire time was trying this thing called Tout, which is essentially TikTok, or no, it was Instagram Reels before Instagram Reels.
Okay.
It was this social media platform named Tout, and everyone's like, hey, our professional wrestlers are on Tout, so if he wasn't getting money from it, he didn't want to do it. This is weird. You have to look it up on Wikipedia.
Yeah. This
is weird because Triple H is so embraced like social media.
Right.
And
it's very interesting. And for them, oh my God, for them to even mention Drake and Kendrick, it's just this wonderful Venn diagram of wrestling and rap beef. And in the middle, here we just getting our whole lives. What's missing would be great for Kendrick and Drake is celebrity deathmatch. That's what they need. Because no, they would not come to Sean. No one's coming to the Performance Center to do anything. It's not going to happen. The tweet was cute, but we're not actually going to see it. But give us Claymation, Drake, and Kendrick. That would be excellent. Now, is Ilya Dragunov another one of those dudes who needs to be reminded periodically that it's not super real?
Absolutely. Like,
oh my God.
Yeah.
If I could see Ilya and Ricochet every week, give it to me. That was so good. Oh my God. And I didn't quite know where they were going to go to it. And that's the thing I enjoyed most about some of those matches. Because sometimes you know exactly what direction it's going to go and it doesn't matter much. But that one, I wasn't quite sure where they were going to go. And every time it was a near fall, I'm like, oh my God, I know which one it is. But it was a fantastic near fall every time. Holy shit.
And that was Ilya's second match on the show. So, they wouldn't have him lose direct.
Exactly.
He might lose tomorrow when Jay and them. I thoroughly believe he should, it would be more interesting if Jay if Jay lost. It would be a lot interesting, because I definitely want to see those two numbskulls of Gunther and either Dragunov just sneak each other to death. It's just gonna be a violent.
Are they gonna hold on to it though? Exactly. God. Shit.
Just an angry Russian and an angry Austrian just smacking the bullshit out of each other.
Some of the angriest European nations.
Angriest European nations.
Or at least angriest sounding.
Yes.
Immer hier. Wisst, ihr seid der arroganteste Haufen Abschaum, den ich meine ganze Karriere jemals wieder nur erlebt habe. Liebe für euch, wir lieben WXW. Aber dass ihr diesen Abschaum respektiert. Mehr Respekt den Abschaum zollt, diesen Flickflack-Artisten, die sich am liebsten in Turnhallen aufhalten. wir auf der großen Weltbühne stehen. Denn ihr wisst eins nicht, Liebe ist keine Einbahnstraße und mehr Respekt verdienen wir als diese Abschau.
Moving right along, Becky Lynch is it. And I've been wanting to say this about Becky for some time. I didn't, because when you give a white girl an inch, they'll take a mile. But to be supportive of marginalized communities, you have to do so in an active way and not just, with lip service and saying nice things about them. So during her heel run, she supported both her fellow white women by putting over Dewdrop at the time, Piper Niven, and Liv before their matches, and also putting over Bianca in that run up to that match and that match at Mania itself, which is exactly what a white girl named Becky is supposed to do. I remember that Raw a couple weeks before where she went after Bianca's braid with a pair of scissors, and Bianca stops her and ends up cutting off her own hair. It's probably a wig. But I was like, and they were like, you deserve it. And I was like, Becky got people to boo her. She did it. She's beloved and she got them to hate her. She did it. And I was like, this is what you're supposed to be doing. And she did mention in the book that she was aware of that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
She put over this up and coming talent to her interview with Michael Cole, which is really cute, but she managed to do that also during a heel run.
Mm-hmm.
Which not everyone wants to do and can pull off. So respect there. Words
in the book, she basically, that was one of the first times she met Bianca, and when she came back to the back, Bianca was crying. Sure, and she's just like, and she basically is like, I'm gonna make this up to you. And she was just like, I want to thank Bianca for allowing me to putting trust in me to do that. And it's like a really cool part in her book. Like, it's a really good book. I'm still thinking about it because I did the audiobook, and it's one of the few times in the audiobook the author is crying as they're reading. Like, she's talking about when her dad died. Because she had Rue, and then she was talking about taking care of Rue, and her dad was just like, hey, it's not a big deal. And that was like the last day he could actually talk before he died. And then she was talking about watching the funeral procession on Zoom because she couldn't be there.
No.
Yeah, and she's crying as she's talking about it. It's a very, very good book.
No.
You should listen to it. Like, if you like Pages, read, like, if you like Pages, this is the one time I'm going to say, like, try the audiobook, because she's reading it and she's putting a lot of personality in it, and her lip got fucked up in a match before.
Yeah.
She talks about it.
And she did it anyway.
Exactly.
Good for her, man. Good for her. She knows how to do what needs to be done, and she's not afraid of doing it. And then she did mention that Alba Fire was the longest reigning NXT Women's Champion in the UK. I did not know that at all. Because usually when I think of modern titles or anything like that, I don't think about NXT UK. Do they still have NXT UK?
No, it absolved into NXT 2.0.
All right.
So
it's been a minute then.
Yeah.
Since that happened. Okay.
Yeah. They were going to try to do NXT Europe instead of NXT UK. Like, they were having a training facility out in Europe, but it never materialized. Mostly because of pandemic.
Sure.
But when she was when her old slave name was Kaylee Ray, she was the longest running champion, because that's around the time that Rhea left to come to the States. And then she beat Toni Storm for it, and then she's the reason why Toni Storm, quote unquote, retired from NXT UK, because they had a I Quit match, or our last woman standing. Yeah, like a I Quit. No, they had an I Quit match, and Kaylee Ray beat her in an I Quit match because he was like giving her a concerto or some shit, and there's no one really in her way to stop her. And then Mako Satomura came along and beat Kaylee Ray. And then that's when they changed her name to Alba Fire.
Yeah. And I hope to see more of her then, because we've not seen her featured very much at all, and I was surprised to hear that she had a title and for that long too.
Yeah, she's
That was
good.
pretty cool. Yeah. And one more thing that Becky did. Becky gets flowers all the time. I remember they were talking about what's it like to be, a mom who, is traveling anywhere. She's like, oh, that's great. That's really great. But actually, Asuka did it first. Like, anytime people give her a compliment about what she's doing, where she is, she's like, okay, that's great. Awesome. But also this person did it first. I'm not the first one. It's all of us here. Awesome.
Top of the morning to you. Alice in Danger, you divvy knacker. You're thinking that you can throw me off my game, putting me in this match with your pure wrestling Ring of Honor rules. Doesn't matter if I've never done it before. Fact of the matter is, I'm the best darn technical wrestler around these parts. I'm excelling in Shimmer. You're saying that I was cheating in my match against Daisy Hayes? Heck no! I'm clean as a whistle and I'm sharp as a pistol. And you know it. I know it. Everybody around here knows it, that when you step through them curtains, you're just cruising for a bruising. It doesn't matter what kind of match it is. Whether it's a European rules match, whether it's a hardcore match, whether it's a 2 out of 3 falls match. Doesn't matter, because you'll be leaving in a Bojangle. That's what you did tonight. That is a lesson from the school of the K-Knox.
Sammy triple threat with Chad and Bronson Reed. I was not aware that this was the second year that Sammy was going to be in Saudi. I always just assumed that Sammy wouldn't be in Saudi at all. And I loved he gave us some of that,
قدام شعب العرب قدام أهلي.
Non-English on TV. Come on, give us more of it, Sammy.
Yeah, no, like he can comfortably go to Saudi because they're not killing Syrians right now.
Right now. They're busy with something else.
Yeah.
Actually, are you looking forward to that match? Because I've Bronson Reed has grown on me a lot, actually. Because at first it was like just big Bronson Reed, and the big guy, and he's big, blah 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 blah.
He's
but
thick.
He's thick.
Yeah.
And they I think they lean on the big guy thing too much, like with Omos, for example. But I think he's a lot more athletic in the ring than I would have given him credit for. And I feel like they let him do a lot more, especially with going after this IC title. What do you think happens? You excited to see that?
Yeah, of course. It's going to be good. I laughed at that segment because, quick rundown, Sammy wins in WrestleMania. Mm-hmm. Chad Gable loses the match, goes crazy, beats him up in front of his wife. Bronson Reed goes after Sammy. Gable basically interferes in the match.
Yes.
The 1 week, and then Bronson Reed or Sammy interferes in the match the week after. Yeah. So that's the whole build-up in like 20 seconds or less.
Yes.
I'm saying that because Bronson Reed beats them both up, walks backstage, and Adam Pearce is just like, what the hell was that? And it's just like, wait, Sammy interfered in their match.
Yes.
He was defending himself.
Yes.
What are you talking about? What? It's just like somebody just getting bullied, and then they just like slap somebody in the face, and then the teacher's just like, wow, I can't believe you fucking did that. That's so bad. I'm like
I can't believe
don't talk to me, talk to them. Exactly. I can't. You're right. I can't believe you defended yourself. You're 1,000% right.
Gunther is another one who obviously does not seem to care that the results are scripted. This will beat the shit out of anyone anyway. I want to know where this will end up with Sheamus. Because if it's not Sheamus's last run, it's one of his last runs. I want him to have that IC title before he's done, because he's never had it before. What is the point of Gunther continuing to beat the shit out of Sheamus over and over and over again? Why do we keep seeing him lose to him?
Because seeing a pale person getting the shit smacked out of him, and then you see the fucking blood vessels on his chest is some of the most interesting television ever.
Right?
There's this gigantic, tasty redhead that is just getting just the dog shit smacked out of him all the time by this guy with this heavy hand Austrian dude.
Yeah.
Just over and over and over.
Consistently. And it was a fucking fantastic match. I'll give him that. Great main event. I was pretty sure when I was watching it was like, that's going to be the main event, and that's going to be some fucking road graps right there. Anytime they get together, it's always great. Do you think Gunther will be King of the Ring? I feel like that would be a good move for him right now.
Yeah, I think they might try to do Jey Uso.
Jay, I would see. Either one of those I could see.
Yeah, if Jey Uso wins his next match, I'm pretty sure it'll be him.
Yeah.
But if he loses to Ilya Dragunov,
yeah,
we're gonna get a bloody just shit smacking of a next match with Ilya and Gunther. I just can't wait. I just can't wait.
It's just good. How many is he taller than him though? Like he's got a few inches on him, right? How tall is Ilya Dragunov?
Ilya Dragunov's like 6 feet even. I think Gunther's like 6.
So, Gunther is 6'4", 297.
Wow.
And I just saw that and I was like, literally, Gunther and Sheamus fighting each other is literally big meaty men slapping meat. That's what that is. They're both 6'3" and 2 something, I think, a piece.
Mm-hmm.
But Gunther is listed at 6'4", 297, and Sheamus is listed right now at 6'3", 250. So Gunther's got 40 pounds on him.
Oh God! Wow.
I saw pictures and I was like, I knew he was tall, but I did not know he was that solid either.
Yeah.
Because
you guys saw them. How was that match?
Fucking incredible.
Amazing, right? Incredible.
Fucking incredible. Like I've seen Gunther at PWG. Like you haven't lived until you've seen wrestlers going to the CVS down the street in Reseda getting shit. Like you haven't lived.
I'm just here to get some Tiger Balm.
Yeah, you haven't lived until you've seen Pentagon Jr. without mask getting shit at CVS before the show starts. Okay.
Wrestlers, they're people too.
I was just looking at Cody versus Logan Paul. I mean, we all know by now that he's inexplicably good at it, and so that's going to be a good match. But I wonder if it's going to be like winner take all, and if that's winner take all, does that mean you are getting rid of the Universal title? I don't know exactly what they're going to do with it, because Cody alluded to it being in both belts, and I'm like, is that what's going to happen? I don't know.
No, they can't afford to do that.
Right? They've been doing so good with it.
Because
just champion v champion kind of thing, like Becky versus Charlotte that year.
Yeah.
Okay, that would be much better, because it would be a very strange way to get rid of that title, considering all the work you've done with it. But here's a question: did he have the best rookie year ever?
I would say so.
Right.
Actually, no.
That's a bar, I fear.
I mean, thinking about it right now, no, because Ronda literally changed female wrestling in 1 year because of her name. She went from having this fucking amazing tag match with Triple H one WrestleMania, and then literally the next WrestleMania she was main eventing.
Yeah.
So that's booking wise, it's the greatest year ever. No one's going to consider it.
Yeah.
No one's going to consider it because she is because
did almost nothing to earn it and actually feel like Logan Paul's earned it. Queen and King of the Ring qualifiers. Of course, Nia Jax wins, but she did look tired after. And I liked that. It is possible to make the loser still look strong. Like, she took her to the limit, and I respect that. Like, rising tide raises all ships. Makes sense for Carmelo to win against Baron because Baron's done it before. That's fine. He's back, blah, blah, blah. 3 of my faves in Piper, Jade, and Chelsea all being in the ring at the same time. Oh, God. It's so funny. I hope we see Jade and Bianca versus Piper, Chelsea soon. That's going to be fun.
That match was funny. Like, when Chelsea smacked her and he had to look at her hand like, fuck, that hurt.
Yes, exactly. Right. That's so funny. And she was out there in that cute outfit she had on, and she didn't have her shoes on. She was whacking Jade with her shoes. It's adorable. And I do think it's smart to feature Jade and Bianca in a singles tournament while you're still figuring out the women's tag. Like, okay, I see what you did there. Cute.
And I think they're getting Piper ready for Clash of the Castle.
Ooh, against whom do you think?
Bailey. So if the hometown girl, because she's Scottish, so the hometown girl or the home country girl.
Yeah. That would be awesome.
Country.
Yeah. She'll end up fighting.
That would be great.
Yeah, Bailey. It would make sense. It's a new candidate, or contender, not candidate.
Yeah.
But I think Piper is awesome. Like Piper Nevin, like that's fantastic. She's so good.
Yeah. Oh, that's gonna be fun. Shit, I didn't think of that. Oh, it's gonna be clever.
She's one of the few to be essentially like fuck Vince McMahon, but she can't explicitly say it. But she's just like every interview is just like, yeah, that was a stupid fucking name.
Yeah, exactly. Don't remind me about that. I'm having fun.
Exactly. Yeah. That dumbass name.
Candice and Bianca, that was a foregone conclusion. But Candice being a bad influence on Indy, very cute and adorable. I like seeing you guys move along. Okay. Like if you're gonna be on TV, please do something with it. And they did. Yeah. It was short-lived though. How long, speaking of short-lived, how long was Tama versus Doc? Because I feel like I got up to get something to drink and came back and it was over.
Yeah, you pretty much described it.
Am I ever going to see him wrestle? I feel like I've seen him take one bump without like a chair or something involved.
You know, it's funny. We were because we're talking about Clash of the Castle, and the one thing that's in the news about it is how expensive the tickets are.
Are they?
Apparently, they got a little bit of backlash in the UK. Because this headline on the Sportster.com says WWE UK fans have been priced out of the first ever PLE in Scotland. Basically, tickets are ranging from $375 US to over $2,500 US per ticket.
So
and it's
that's why when we go to WrestleMania, we're gonna wait until the week of to get tickets because
we're like, I can't go take this ticket.
No, because like I mean, I'll get the Airbnb. I have no qualms about that. Hopefully, I'll be working. But still, like it's just one of those things where I'm like, yeah, they're pricing out their ticket, and the fact that they had the temerity to be like, "Brand, this is the largest WWE gate ever." I don't care. I, as a fan, don't give a shit about that.
Yes.
You give a shit about that.
Thank you.
But yeah, I mean, people are really excited, but like apparently they're saying the venue's capacity can hold about 14,000 people. So they're like, why are all the tickets this expensive?
So they can break the gate that they did in France.
Yeah, and it's like, okay, but I mean, that's the thing I've noticed in general with entertainment is that now almost most normal people can barely afford to do any live entertainment stuff. Yes. Concerts, live shows like this. It's like, if you want to go, you better be on a list. You better put your email getting blown up by it, 2 weeks before, reminding you of your special pre-sale date.
Yep.
And then you better be like fucking like Wild Wild West shit, fastest guns in the West, getting your info in there to get your shit. And it's crazy. Everything is like that now. It's crazy. Yeah. It's like, I'm like, you're going to have no live audience at some point.
Yeah, you're pricing out everybody.
Everybody except for rich people. Yeah.
Yeah. Like,
even when Trips was recently like, we want to make sure everyone can come see it. Does that mean that you keep the prices low for house shows and not, the big ticket PLEs that you're doing overseas? I'm happy for Lanite moving forward in the ring. I did think Santos was a dark horse though. He would have been great for it.
Yeah, like this is the first King of the Ring where I don't know who's gonna win.
Right. At first, it was for some of them are easy, but now that we're getting into quarter and semi, like, oh, I don't know what's gonna happen.
Yeah, because I mean, when Woods won it, that was surprising too, because
who'd he beat?
He beat Finn Balor. Because the thing about Woods is he knows he was never going to be a WWE championship, a champion. Mm-hmm. So he was just like, I've always wanted to become King of the Ring.
Yeah.
And he beat Finn Balor and became King of the Ring. And it was awesome.
Yeah.
And so this is a hot take, but this is why I always stand on the New Day will always be better than the Shield, because the Shield have been gifted everything. The New Day had to work for everything.
An hour ago, Jay beat Dragunov, and that's another one that, people hot take, Jay's not going to win that one. What do you think? That's one I would have been surprised either way. Like, I'm surprised that we don't get Gunther Dragunov at this point. And I'm also a little bit surprised that Jay won, not because he can't, but because it's about putting over the new kid that's, around and building him up. It's a balance there. Of course, I'm happy that he did. What did you think was going to happen? Was that one of those fight call?
I wanted Ilya Dragunov to win, for obvious reasons, because I just like when him and Gunther are just like, let's just like hurt each other.
Let's be big Eastern European men hurting each other.
Exactly.
It's there's a bratwurst joke here somewhere.
It's like World War I in this motherfucker. Like, let's just do this.
It's big meaty men smacking bratwurst. I don't know. That sounds way too porny, to be fair.
I guess that means they wait for Dragunov and Gunther. Like it
might be at Clash in the Castle. Like,
yes.
Them Europeans need to see somebody just like almost die. Like
they would love that. That's what they want.
Yes.
Just give them an ambulance match. And
an ambulance match,
and make him have the little foreign ambulance sound. Perfect. And it's just gonna be 30 minutes of just the most violent shit you'll ever see. It's just two people just beating the shit out of each other, and one of them wheels somebody in the goddamn ambulance, and it just drives off. And
it's like the little blue lights.
Exactly. It's a foreign alarm.
Oh God.
Have you guys ever seen
like,
this is one
that
video
would be
where...
worth $300 for nosebleeds. And just see that fucking match.
I'm hyped this Friday for Jade and Nia and Bianca versus Tiffany. I think Bianca and Tiffany is a pretty easy call. I'm not sure what the call is with Jade and Nia.
I think
that's a new thing from like the Royal Rumble. What a nice way to bring it back.
Yeah. I think it's the opposite when it comes to me, because I don't know how the Tiffany Bianca match is going to go.
I think that Bianca wins, but it'll be a good, not a slobber knocker, but nice and competitive, because Bianca's already established herself as a great worker in the ring, and anytime she gets in there, it's good. And Tiffany's coming up on that as well. So I think, and they have very similar styles. Very. So I think that's going to be a really good match. I just can't see Tiffany beating Bianca. Not at this point.
It has to be nefarious heel shit.
Exactly.
Like that's the only thing.
Exactly. And I don't know if she's doing nefarious heel shit yet.
Like, it's Tiffany. She's the princess from the Powerpuff Girls of wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
Like, she will do some nefarious ass shit to win.
What's sort of nefarious though? Because so far she's won because she just happens to be a little bit better than who she's wrestling against, and because she's a little bit annoying, but she's not doing anything nefarious like hidden brass knuckles or anything like that. Or
but like if you're a heel and you
on the ropes or something.
If you're a heel and you do some nefarious shit, I think she won because of eye poke once too. But if that happens, like, you can do anything and still people will be, oh, she's a heel.
Yeah, sure.
So
that's
you can do anything.
That was easy. And well, what about Jade Nia then? Is that an easy one?
For me, it's obvious it's going to be Jade, because they can't afford for her to lose right now.
Yes, that's true. Yeah, very true. And yet, I would like to see Nia as Queen of the Ring. And actually, any 4 of those I would like to see as Queen of the Ring.
There can only be one person to come from SmackDown. That's the thing.
Exactly.
Highlander rules. There can only be one.
Can only be one.
Like with Raw, I mean, we just watched Bird Girl and we watched Io Sky.
Yeah.
And then I forgot the other 2 who are in the tournament on the Raw side. It's not Liv Morgan.
I don't know if you guys you guys saw. So a lot of people are pretty excited about this Bianca and Tiffany thing. Like, did you see the tweet that I put in there from what's the user's name? It was Wrestling Humble, I think is the person's name. Oh, Humble Wrestling. It says Tiffany Stratton versus Bianca Belair is a fucking crazy match to run next week. I am slapping my forearm like The Rock.
To show that.
Very cute.
That just made me laugh. People are excited though. There's like somebody else. Let me see. They're about it. But I mean, to be fair, I've barely really, again, living up to my namesake. But it is fun to see Tiffany do stuff because she's just so like pop bubblegum mean girl. It's like the cutest thing ever. She's like, ooh.
Yeah, like in the Elimination Chamber when her pod gets open and she's just like, oh, me? Yay! And then she goes,
oh no, it's out of Raw, it's just Io and Lyra.
Okay, so that's the
Which
final.
I'm surprised she beat Zoe. Yikes. I didn't catch that match, so I gotta go back. I love Zoe Stark. Stop.
I mean I like Zoe Stark too, but they seem to be pushing Bird Girl at
yes,
like
that's true. Yeah.
Fast rate, and
yeah,
she came in for the save for Becky.
Yeah.
So yeah, Bird Girl's up next. Kiana James was on tonight, so that was cool.
Yeah, I saw that. That's funny.
And storyline wise, I didn't realize this until watching it tonight, but Adam Pearce got so tired of Chelsea Green, he traded her to fucking SmackDown.
Which I love. That's hilarious.
It's like, now it's like all this problem.
Yes, that's so funny. See, sometimes it works right. Sometimes it goes the way it should. We want to talk about how you hate face Jade Cargill.
Yeah.
I like Jade. I understand why you wouldn't though, but I like face Jade.
I like Jade, period. The thing is, I would like her to be like a Goldberg where it's just like, yeah, I'm a good guy, but you should be honored that I'm here. You should be honored that I'm here. I'm not gonna slap your like grubby human hands. I'm a god amongst people.
Grubby human hands.
Like, I'm not gonna
exactly like the way like that Charlotte was when she would do that queen thing and then like shake people's hands, but like she didn't really want to do it. Like, I'm a queen. I'm a queen. You're lucky that I'm touching you. I'm a queen. You know? Well,
man,
she'll probably move in that direction.
Though. Elbow, wrist. Elbow, elbow, wrist.
It's always weird with Charlotte because when she's a face, you think you don't actually believe this, right?
She's just better at being a heel.
She looks like one, to be fair. Like, her whole look is this is a villain.
That's true. Yeah.
Like, it's nothing against her. She just literally looks like every mean blonde villain that was, coded to us as children in the 90s. Like, see this mean blonde woman? She's the bad guy.
Exactly.
Like, remember Captain America was a blonde woman who was one of the bad people.
Emma Frost.
Yep. It's always the mean blondes.
Captain Planet or Captain America?
Captain Planet. Sorry. Yeah. That's what I meant to say.
Okay.
Whatever.
Yeah, it's her. It's the
Captain
woman with
so-and-so, okay? Whoever.
With the one with the fucked up face, because pollution.
Yeah, because pollution, exactly.
Yeah.
Which was interesting because I once saw her talking about her the early part of her career and like how people liked her. Said 5'10" and blonde. What's not to like? I was like, everything, bitch.
That's every villain from my childhood, including that weird ass Alvin and the Chipmunks movie where those weirdly incestuous German twins are like, yes, go all around the world and find diamonds for us. You remember this fucking movie, guys? Is that a fever? Right?
Yes,
Thank you.
when they go
Thank
around
you.
in a hot air balloon
Yeah,
everywhere.
finding diamonds for these fucking You've never seen this movie?
Is
Yeah,
that
there's
the
an
first that first live action one they did?
No, it's the
It is
80s animated one.
80s cartoon.
Oh, it's been very long.
But like that stuck with
They
me. Just these
travel the
weird.
world in a hot air balloon.
Yes,
to
them
get,
and the
like,
Chipettes.
diamonds and shit, and it's like a contest.
But it's all about stealing diamonds for these fucking Germans.
It sounds like Natasha from Natasha and Rocky and Bullwinkle.
A little bit, yeah.
A lot of things in the early 80s and 90s are fever dreams. Like,
No, yeah. You explain that to a person now, and they're just like, "That got made," and you're like, "Oh yes, oh yes."
Yeah.
But again, as I said, evil blondes.
There's a long distance phone call for you from Europe.
Wonderful. Oh, I'm sorry, Sophie. Hello? The girls have made 6 drop-offs. Good. And the boys? Wonderful.
Let's move into AEW real quick. I don't know when Orange Cassidy is going to get a vacation. I assume that when he dropped that title, he would go away for like at least 30 days because he was getting his ass whooped on a like every week, really getting right through the coals. And he's still out there like working. When is he going to get a break? And he could use one because they have plenty of people to come out there, unless they got too many people with the injury bug.
I was gonna say like he could probably use one because he is exactly my age minus a month. He's 1 month older than me. He should take a break.
God.
Like,
But
you're in your
now you
40s
have
now.
you have to put a Chuck.
Well, that's true. If he's not there, Cut Barretta doesn't get this heel run.
Sorry. Yeah,
which is everything I've ever wanted for him.
and shout out to Chuck Taylor. Like, he had an amazing career, and I just don't know what happened.
Is that for real? That can't be for real.
Yeah.
Seriously?
Yeah, that's for real.
What happened to him at that match?
The match happens. It's out in the car park, and
yeah,
the way that they write him off is Trent hits him in the ankle, with a giant wrench.
Yeah,
and that's the end of his career. So they're saying that non-storyline wise, like, he actually does have to retire. He put up a lot of pain he's dealt with a lot of pain, and he was always a fun wrestler. I liked him.
Oh no, that's sad.
Yeah. So that's what makes Trent even more of a villain.
Yeah.
Because he took out Chuck, and the best friends are no more.
Wow. It was a foregone conclusion to me that Mercedes would just come in and snap up any title, but now that Willow has it and it's on Willow, I don't know. What will likely happen versus what should happen? What do you think should happen there? I think she should keep it.
Yeah, I think she should. What's going to happen is at the pay-per-view in 2 weeks in Vegas is Willow's about to win the match, and then Alien Girl / Chris Statlander is going to fuck her up and then turn on her.
Okay, yeah.
And then
still she has to drop. That sucks. She's such
I don't know.
Champ. Like, oh.
I still don't know why. If Mercedes wasn't cleared to wrestle, you shouldn't have debuted her the way you did.
Same. It's been 2 months.
Yeah. If she was not cleared to wrestle, you should have said, hey, she's coming at Double or Nothing.
Yes.
You've just wasted 2 months of time.
Yeah. And not used it very well.
No.
At all. You could have done probably a surprise appearance at Double or Nothing, probably would have gone over much better and been more useful, because then she would be able to just start wrestling. Tisk.
Now she shows up like a guest star on a television show. Where
Exactly.
Mercedes here. Hey.
Yeah.
Yakety
Like,
schmackety.
friend of the show stuff.
And
Like,
then just like, let it rain, pour it out. Let it rain, pour it out. All right, I'm
Don't
done.
wipe it. Don't wipe it.
Where's the check, Tony?
Where's the check? Like, money, please. Money. Money.
No, it's like the Gross sisters in the Proud Family. How the one is always just has the handout.
Those are the blue ones, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they were blue because they were ashy. So
I knew that
It's
I
so
knew that
funny.
they were blue because they were ashy, but I only learned that. I've never seen that show. It seems like anytime the Bucks appear on TV, wherever they are, they're gonna get the CM Punk chant. It's kind of like the what chant at this point, which doesn't belong there and is kind of like analogous, but they're gonna do it because it's fun. I think they kind of deserve it too. But FTR, Danielson, and Kingston is not something I would have guessed.
Yeah, I mean, after that video, I don't know if Kingston will make it to Double or Nothing. So
Exactly.
yeah, I
What happened
think
to
it'll.
him? It was at a New Japan.
New Japan show at the Toyota Arena in Ontario, and the suplex went bad because there wasn't enough room for it. He caught his leg, and it took him a while to get up, but he took the VTE trigger. I'm not going to show it because New Japan would copyright strike our thing and like shut it down our channel. So this is all going to be in photos. And he got fucked up.
That sucks. Oh my God. So who are they gonna get to replace that guy? Weird.
No, they'll find somebody.
Yeah.
There's always
There's always somebody.
Honestly,
what
think
matches
if they're gonna.
Good.
Yeah, honestly, if he's not hurt, it might be Kota Ibushi.
Oh yeah. That was perfect.
Yeah.
I love him. Page is full of a lot of strong matches that apparently had no surprises. Would you want surprises in a regular show though? Like when you're watching Dynamite or Page, what do you want to see? Do you want to see like a surprise? I am happy with if I don't get a surprise at all, I'm happy. I'm happy with a bunch of good matches. Like I was happy to see, the new Dynamite kid. Always happy to see these other guys that don't get to be on TV, like Lee Moriarty, Robin Renegade. I haven't seen her in a while. Dalton Castle, more Dalton Castle on TV.
Yeah, Dalton Castle would have been a bigger. If we're gonna
see more of them, then at least they're not all squash matches.
Yeah, I mean, if that's the case, bring back Cole Cabana. Like that's the biggest surprise to me.
Exactly.
Just bring back him.
And CM Punk's gone, so it's not a deal.
He's gone. He's literally been gone for 9 months.
Yes. It won't be a problem anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
But lastly, Swerve ain't got backup anymore, which is funny because I forgot he had backup in the first place.
Yeah, they did.
I forgot he was part of, like, for them to come out and turn on him, beat him down, make him look like a bigger face than ever. I couldn't remember the last time I'd seen them as a group.
Yeah, exactly.
So it seems like that was the whole point of bringing them out in the first place, to make that, final, separation there.
Mm-hmm.
So what do those guys do now?
Yeah, when they turned on him, it was weird because they just stood there for way too long. And then they're just standing there. And the Waynes are standing there. And then the other guys are just standing there. And then they're doing the shit. And the Waynes are just standing there. I'm just gonna call them all the Waynes because I don't really care.
Yes.
And then on Sunday, they're literally just standing there, and then Swerve like beats up the guy, and he's standing there, and then he chokes him out with the chain, and then Brian Cage is just standing on the ramp, not being able to do anything, and then Swerve's just setting up shit to fuck up the other guy, and Brian Cage is just right there afar, and I'm like, no wonder why these guys are not main event guys.
No wonder.
It's like Brian Cage thought he was gonna be a main event guy. He's just like, he's like, you can't even fucking you can't even sell for a little bit. Like this is
Exactly.
terrible.
And
But
it
Swerve's
looks
gonna-
like we're gonna get him next for
Oh, yeah.
Swerve, which I'm like, okay. Does that mean like you use Swerve to build up what they couldn't build up without him?
Yeah, no, they're not talented enough to like I said a couple weeks ago. If Vince McMahon saw Brian Cage, he would be like, every belt, He's every belt,
all the belts.
all the belts,
Over
every belt on him.
I guess this is just a fine way to fill in Swerve's time. Okay, it works.
It's hard to book face champions.
Yes, it is. It is.
Yeah,
especially because he's moving away from the heel thing and being more of a tweener, I guess.
yeah.
But I just never enjoyed him being. I never enjoyed him being in that group in the first place. He never seemed like a group guy to me.
Yeah,
it never
it's
seemed
just
to
like
work quite well.
it's like goons. It's like Drake in Canada. It's like
Goons, I hardly knew him.
Goons, come with me. Goons, beat up this person's song that I stole a decade ago.
Okay, all right there. Oh geez, oh man, he can make a Canadian joke. He can make a Toronto joke. He should make a Toronto joke. Oh God, because he was a little too heavy-handed the other day.
Yeah, say it right there.
I'm gonna do you like Henry
Toronto.
Drake. You could just make a joke. You don't have to.
But no, like if you're not in the world, you don't understand.
That's true.
Yeah, he had to make that simple joke for
Yeah,
everything.
that to be very
Like,
obvious for all the white people.
There's a difference between like thinking that the Drake beef started like 2 months ago, or the Drake beef started back in 2018, or people like me and a few other people are like, this fucking thing happened in 22 years ago, and that's where everything started.
Gather round, children, and I'll tell you the real story of the beef.
It's the Cobra Kai of fucking hip hop beef, where it's some bullshit happened 30 years ago, and and everyone else's life is affected because of it.
Beauty.
There we go.
Yes, beauty. Is there anything else you want to bring up before we close out?
I think we nailed it. It's a slower week because
But I do want to point out, I don't know who did it. Maybe you guys know. 2 people have rated us on Spotify, and it was both 5 stars. So thank you.
Oh, thank you.
2 5 stars.
Awesome.
Yeah.
We love being validated. Please do it more.
Yes. And follow us on the social medias and where we post our stuff. So on YouTube, we are at Home Wrestling League. On TikTok, we are also at Home Wrestling League. Twitter is at @the_HWL, and Instagram is at Home Wrestling_League. And if you're listening on Spotify, check out the poll and the Q&A also. We do put polls in there sometimes. I can never tell when you're going to do it, but it's always fun to see when you do.
I'm a fun guy.
You're a fun guy.
We have fun here.
Yes. We're fun guys. But we do the Irish goodbyes where we just kind of leave and we just go. It's an end.